We are working from the last section in Chapter 2 from the green Big Ideas Record and Practice Journal. We're doing today 2.6. We're dividing decimals. And our first one we're looking at is number 5. 0.096 divided by 8. First thing we have to make sure we figure out is the first number listed is the one that goes inside the box. So we have to make sure we can identify that 0.096 is our dividend and 8 is our divisor. I'm going to close out some of these. Not going to save that. So I'm going to put 8 out here. 8's my divisor. And this is really nothing new. I know we have a decimal in our dividend. The only thing we really need to do is we just need to be aware of that decimal and bring it straight up. And if we bring it straight up, this actually just becomes a division problem like 96 divided by 8. I'll show you what I mean. 8 goes into 0 0 times. 8 goes into 0 0 times. 8 goes into 9 once. I'm going to put an 8 here and subtract. I'm going to bring down my 6. 8 goes into 16 twice. I get the answer 0.012. 0.012. That would be 12 thousandths. If I want to check my work just to make sure I did it correctly, because dividing decimals is probably something new, we can just simply work some multiplying decimals into our checking our work. So we want to take our quotient, which is 0.12, and we want to times that by 8. And if we times that by 8, we should end up with our dividend. Remember, 8 was our divisor. Divisor is the number that goes outside the box. We're going to just basically do 12 times 8. 12 times 8 is 96. And then we just got to remember how many decimal places do we have in our problem. We had 3. We have to make sure we put 3 in our answer. So that would be 0.096, and 0.096 matches our dividend. So we know the answer is correct. The correct answer is 0.012. I'm going to scroll down and take a look at number 7. Number 7 is a little bit different. It's set up for us correctly, but we have a decimal in our divisor. 17.36 is our dividend. 3.1 is our divisor. Here's where we have to make sure we pay attention. We need to essentially move the decimal out of 3.1. If we move this decimal over one place, we then have to do the same move in our dividend. So the divisor is the one that tells the dividend how many places it has to move the decimal. If we only move it once in our divisor, then we only move it once in our dividend. And then we can actually recopy our problem. We actually get a new problem. We actually get 31 going into 17 or 173.6. Now this problem is very similar to what we did with number 5. We simply have a decimal in our dividend. We simply bring that decimal up, and then we just work the problem out like normal. We want to see how many times 31 goes into 1. It doesn't. How many times does 31 go into 17? It doesn't. How many times does 31 go into 173? I think it's like maybe 5 times. We'll try 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. And then we need to subtract. This becomes a 6. This becomes 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. 1. Bring down our 6. How many times does 31 go into 186? Well, 5 was 155, so it's probably going to be 6. We'll see if that works. 6 times 1 is 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. The other nice thing is it does work out. If you're ever working out a division decimal problem and it keeps going on forever and ever, chances are you made a mistake. You would want to make sure you go back to check your work. Just like in number 5, we can check our work for number 7. If we simply take 31 times 5.6 off to the side, we should end up with the number that is our dividend. We have 1 decimal place in our problem. We need 1 decimal place in our answer. We'll just go ahead and work this out. 6 times 1 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Put your 0 down. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Add this up. And we put our 1 decimal place in it. We have 173.6. And here we go, 173.6. Remember, it's not going to match the original dividend because we had to move that decimal out to begin with. One final note on moving it out. If we have 2 decimal places in our divisor, then we have to move 2 decimal places in our dividend. If we have 1 decimal place in our divisor, we move 1 decimal place in our dividend. If we have 3 decimal places in our divisor, we would have to move our decimal 3 places in our dividend. Dividing decimals can be some challenging math here.